Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. We are here to keep you updated on the latest happenings in government affairs. Between today's pages, the details on Hagley Park Road improvement for a seamless flow of traffic along that thoroughfare. There's also news and a few important messages, so stay with us.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs on here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 12. $600 million is earmarked to increase pension payments to retired government employees in the upcoming financial year. This is in addition to another $600 million approved by Cabinet recently to increase pensions for this group in the current financial year, which ends on March 31. Finance and Public Service Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke made the announcement as he opened the budget debate last week.
Earlier this year, it was announced that the 120,000 NIS pensioners would benefit from a 14% increase in pensions. And the ministry is working on expanding the enrollment in the NIS program.
In other budget news, the Ministry of Finance is developing a public financial management policy for natural disaster risk. It will include a contingent credit and accumulating fiscal savings in the contingency fund, which is only to be used in the event of natural disasters. Other layers of protection include the Caribbean Catastrophe Insurance Facility and catastrophe bonds or catastrophe-linked insurance. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says the policy will be submitted to Cabinet and, if approved, tabled in Parliament. He says the strategy will provide the country with the layers of protection in the event of a disaster and protect the financial gains made under the Economic Reform Program.
Jamaica, Mr. Speaker, has done too much work and made too many sacrifices to leave ourselves completely open and exposed in a post-IMF program environment to the potential fiscal impact of natural disaster.
Dr. Clarke was opening the budget debate on Thursday. Chief Justice Brian Sykes says by December 31 of this year, there will be no outstanding divorce cases in our island's courts. This is part of his commitment to cut the waiting time for adjudicating matters before the court. In line with that, Justice Sykes says cases relating to the validity of wills and the estate of persons who died without a will should take no longer than 12 weeks in the Supreme Court.
My vision is for our judiciary to be the best in the Caribbean region in 3 years and among the best in the world in 6 years, beginning March 1, 2019. To support this vision, I give my commitment to put in place measures so that by December 31, 2019, all outstanding judgments in the Supreme Court will be delivered. As of 2020, a judgment should be delivered within 90 days, and in exceptional cases, 180 days following completion of the case.
The Chief Justice was speaking recently during an address to the nation. He says the Court of Appeal will also increase its disposal rate as 3 additional judges were appointed in January and 3 more are to be added later this year. The Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA will be making $68 million available to implement water harvesting and sanitation projects in several rural areas' schools. The money is to continue work on the JICA's Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project during the financial year that begins on April 1. Among other things, it will allow for the completion of infrastructure work at Black River High and Fair Prospect Primary. In addition, water harvesting and sanitation systems are being installed at Iris Gelly Primary. School buses will be bought for License and New Forest Primary. The project, which started in September 2017, was scheduled to end in March 2019, but has been extended to March 2020. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is delivering improved services to residents of Hanover through its new office. The building was officially opened by Portfolio Minister Shahini Robinson recently.
It represents a recognition of the importance of providing adequate accommodations conducive to the well-being of our employees, a commitment to meet the increasing demand and expectations of the client public, and of course to utilize our physical and human resources in enhancing our productive capacity.
Minister Robinson says this is part of a broader mission to upgrade the ministry's offices across the island.
The tenders for the Montego, the refurbishing of the St. James office is out. So too is the one on Ripon Road in Kingston. And we continue to try and upgrade our offices as best as we can.
The St. Anne Parish office is expected to be completed by June and occupied by year end. And finally, a cocoa festival will be added to the list of Jamaica's gastronomic experiences to increase tourism earnings. The Cocoa Festival will be held later this year by the Tourism Ministry in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture and other government agencies. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says the rich history of the country's cocoa can be a pull for visitors while deepening the linkages between the productive sectors and stopover spend.
Jamaican cocoa was the feedstock for Cadbury chocolates, and very few people know that. And today Cadbury is one of the most celebrated brands in the world.
Minister Bartlett was speaking with JIS News at the recent Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
I'm deeply concerned by the number of Jamaicans killed on our roads. Safety on our roads is our responsibility. Jamaicans, drivers, passengers, motorcyclists, and pedestrians, slow down. Observe the rules of the road. Be courteous. Drive defensively. Be considerate. Buckle up. Wear a helmet. The careless overtaker is only rushing to the undertaker. Not observing the rules of the road could cost you your life and that of your loved ones. I encourage all road users to take special care as we use public thoroughfares. The life you save may be your own. Remember, your family wants you to arrive alive.
Hagley Park Road is one of St. Andrew's busiest corridors. It is door-to-door packed with diverse kinds of businesses. That roadway is also connected between the communities of the metropolitan area. For those reasons and more, the government decided to upgrade the thoroughfare. Watch this.
The Hagley Park Road Improvement Project, like the four current Mid-P Legacy Roadworks, is a multidimensional and simply mega undertaking. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, in pursuit of cost efficiencies in relation to infrastructure development, has sought to align the work programs of the NWC with that of the National Works Agency. This has resulted in more expansive and extensive road improvement projects. The Hagley Park Road Legacy Project, for example, involves 5 separate components that could easily be treated as standalone projects. This include bridge construction works, drainage improvement, potable water supply improvement, sewer works, and road widening and reconstruction. There is in fact a 6th component, as traffic management and intersection improvement are key features of the project. This will later facilitate the installation of new and upgraded traffic signals at 8 critical intersections along the corridor. In addition, 3 different types of pipelines totaling 7,000 meters, 7,484 meters of stormwater culverts, 5,968 meters of both 200 millimeter and 300 millimeter sewer lines, 84 manholes. a box culvert, 2 overpass bridges spanning 90 and 400 meters respectively, and 425 meters of retaining wall are either being constructed or installed under the Hagley Park Road Improvement Project. Where possible, 2 or more activities under the project are done simultaneously. Others, however, have to await the completion of preparatory or preliminary works. It is not at all possible, for example, to undertake road construction, water supply, and drainage improvement activities in a given area at the same time. Channels have to first be dug for culverts or pipelines, following which the area is covered up or backfilled, creating the surface on which the new roadway will be constructed. Pipeline works create dugout area, stockpiles of material, and dust, and have proven to be quite an intrusive aspect of road construction projects. Provisions to mitigate the impact of trenching are clearly outlined in the contract of works. The NAA requires its contractors to maintain access to properties during such activities, as well as to use appropriate dust control methods such as wetting and covering of excavated material. The NAA regrets the inconvenience the works would have caused. The implementation of the project is, however, necessary for residents and businesses along the Hagley Park Road to benefit from a more efficient and reliable delivery of water supply, as well as a central sewer disposal for the first time. The new drainage system will also mitigate the impact of stormwater runoff on the brand new road surface. And where major infrastructural improvement occurs, an increase in property value certainly follows. To date, the underground infrastructural road under the Hagley Park Road Improvement Project is advancing satisfactorily. 5,000 meters or 71.5% of the water pipeline have so far been laid. 5,000 meters or 80% of the sewer mains have been installed, while 70% of the drainage improvement works is now complete. In fact, pipeline works are fully done along a few sections of the roadway, where base material is now being spread and compacted, kicking off the long-awaited road construction phase of the project. The first bit of roadworks is most evident over a 1-kilometer section of the corridor between Waltham Park Road and Carpenter Road. Concrete median barriers, which are being installed at the same time, stretches as far as Elspeth Avenue. As for the bridge construction works at 3 miles, this is indeed the fastest advancing component of the US $59 million road project. 2 overpass bridges are being constructed at what is the island's busiest intersection. They are expected to greatly improve traffic flow with uninterrupted vehicular movement at all sides of the interchange. Overhead, the final bit of works continues on completing the decks of both overpasses. Overall work on the bridges is now 90% complete. The mega Hagley Park Road Improvement Major Road and Legacy Project is contractually due to be completed in June 2019. The NAA is now over halfway towards this target, as 60% of the works have been implemented thus far. When completed, over 35,000 motorists will return to a totally reconstructed 4-lane separated dual carriageway. The brand new 3.5-kilometer roadway, which will run from Chesterfield Drive Extension to Maxfield Avenue, will be signalized at the most intuitive points to aid effective traffic management, including, for the first time, at the Keaton Avenue, Amara Road, Hagley Park Preparatory, and Margaretta Villa Road intersections. A warning, however, to eager motorists: the new roadway shouldn't be taken as an invitation to speed, as the corridor will be outfitted with LPR or license plate recognition cameras that will be able to capture your infractions instantly. With 4 months remaining under the Hagley Park Road Improvement Project contract, we certainly are looking forward to summer.
If you no want pop down and fenke, you fi burn mosquito and run with dengue. So no make water settle in open container. For them we read up under the danger. Usher them out, run them away. Zap them with the zapper and down them with spray. Use mosquito net and mosquito screen. Protect your household, now make them come in. If you no want pop down and fenke, if you burn mosquito and run with dengue. If pain lick your head and your joints and your eye, and you want fever meat and your temperature high, it could be dengue, don't hesitate. See a doctor, don't self-medicate. For some painkiller can make you bleed and you will try to recover and no succeed. We no want pop down and fenke. With a burn mosquito and run with dengue.
A message from the Ministry of Health.
Next, we travel to East Asia, Japan to be exact. Take a look.
Konnichiwa. We journey to the land of the rising sun, even if it's only for one day. In February, the Japanese embassy in Jamaica staged its second annual Japan Day inside the ballroom of the Knutsford Court Hotel in New Kingston. Prior to 2018, the occasion was marked by staff of the diplomatic entity personally delivering calendars to Jamaicans across the corporate area. But last year, they decided to expand the day's activity into an event showcasing the best of the Asian nation.
It's a chance for Jamaicans who have never been to Japan before to get a chance to visit Japan for just one day, to get a taste of the culture and the people.
2019's Japan Day exceeded their expectations.
I am very much impressed, more than even last year. Very good, deep relationship we enjoy. And you know, Japan and Jamaica is beginning from J. So in many international arena, we are always side by side.
Get ready to listen to the sounds of Sanshin. Sanshin is an instrument from the Okinawa Prefecture, the southern part of Japan.
Hidari, Gedan Badai, Komaite! Oyusuki, Jordan! Ich! Stepping back.
You can complete a judo throw by putting your opponent out of balance.
She's now adding some flowers, some orchids. And I'm sure you all know that is called baby's breath, what she is adding now to the arrangement. Mrs. Chen is a teacher in the Sugetsu School. Thank you, Mrs. Chen.
Ikebana is a Japanese art of floral arranging, and in Jamaica we have 3 schools, and we have an umbrella organization called Ikebana International, and this year we are celebrating 47 years in Jamaica. I've been to Japan several times to exhibition to learn more about it, and now I am a teacher of the Isser School.
Decided to come to Japan Day because I have a lot of interest in Asian culture. I actually used to live in Vietnam for 2 years. I used to teach English and a little bit of math. in Vietnam. I think it's really good for us to learn and spread and grow, especially in the business world. Asia is really important nowadays, especially.
I actually homeschool my children, 6-year-old and 2-year-old, and we did a study on different continents, and we looked at Asia and the country of Japan. And then we saw that they were having this event, Japan Day, and we said, oh, it's a good follow-up to the teaching that we did with our homeschooling. So also my other homeschooling friends too came here to just show the children a practical side of what we taught them in the books.
Thanks to all volunteers and the guests, we'd like to develop further from next year on.
Want to know when that will be? Then follow the Embassy of Japan's Facebook page to be informed of the 2020 staging. Bye-bye.
The following is brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with kind support of NIA and USAID.
Criminal minds think they are cunning. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency have them running. Your friend a shout, come here. Take time running, are we ready for the ops? Drive up on your block, step out now we block, cyber take a boy your laptop. Pull up every lock, no evidence a drop. We put it in a cuffs and now we have the underground. Sin you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Please say you get where, look out for. Look out for, look out for. From you say scam, you better look out for. When you move corrupt, better look out for. Please say you get where, look out for. Look out for, look out for.
The proceeding was brought to you by MOCA, the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency with the kind support of NIA and USAID.
The issue of sexual assault against women and children, including rape, is a major concern for Jamaica. The government is working hard to not only put away the perpetrators of violence against women and children, but also to provide support to the victims. One organization which offers tremendous support to the victims of sex crimes is the Victim Services Division of the Ministry of Justice. Last year alone, the division provided assistance to more than 13,000 victims.
The government provides this support for victims, and it will provide the support from the day you become a victim of crime. It will follow you through the process. If you have to go to court, it has various innovative approaches that is designed to build your capacity to go through your victimization. The court orientation program of the Victim Services Division is one which has gotten the commendation of police and court officials right across this country. It has several components. Well, even before we actually get into the court, we had a phase where we provided technical capacity building for judges and magistrates across the island, prosecutors, police officers, in understanding the dynamics when a person becomes a victim of a crime. So then there is the working with court, where there's an orientation program which involves us taking particularly children to court before the court day to help them to understand the lay of the land. We actually now provide them with a sense of orientation to understand what it means to be ready for court, and we want to make clear that this is not coaching them or interfering with the evidence and the facts of the case. This is just dealing with the psycho-emotional and the realities from, going to court back and forth. We also realized that a number of children were being victims of sex crime, and it's traumatic. And we felt we needed to bring just these victims into group counseling to be able to deal with some of the issues. We call it an overcomers program.
The Victim Services Division provides support to all, inclusive of free confidential counseling for all ages, no matter the victim's gender or sexual orientation.
It has gotten commendation from victims. We have a 95-96% rating among the persons who we serve.
Not to leave any container with water open
So that is what I'm doing to prevent dengue.
I use my mosquito repellent to cover up my skin and stuff, and I have mesh over my windows.
My windows have a lot of meshes on, and every window in my house have meshes. But I've always had meshes on them because I live in Portmore. So unlike other persons, when I bought my windows, I pay extra for the meshes. Even my doors have meshes. So that's what I did.
For one, the persons who go around and spray the community, they have put things in the drum and we have kept them covered. I have kept them covered, and I've thrown away containers lying around the house.
I've been getting rid of all of the old junk that's around my yard, like the tires and the old pans that store the waters and the repellent.
Good day, ladies. We're going into communities to identify persons on the voters list over 40 years old who have died, so the EOJ can update their voters list.
Oh, Derek can't come off of the list now in the last year I'm dead.
Exactly.
From November 2018, the EOJ will be conducting a special exercise to remove the names of voters that have passed away from the voters list. You can help. Call the EOJ at 888-991-VOTE. For more information, visit our website at ecj.com.jm.
Speeding through life and the traffic lights till somebody get hurt and the tears start cry. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives. Make the road safe whether day or night, for pedestrians, passengers, cars and bikes. Save a life for the kids, for you and I. Save kids' lives.
Hey man, it's our job to keep the road them safe. Have to take care of the youth them so we know them safe. And obey the road code, don't race. No bother with the speeding, cause make face. And check your light them and your tires and brakes. Riders and the pillions who left the helmet. I put on the cell phone, no send no text. No matter what color they on your plate.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place when you're on the road.
Hey, follow me. Well, everybody drive good and walk good. Then teach the youth them how to cross good. I beg you obey the road signs, park good. And put the young ones in a car seats, all good. And everybody drive good and walk good. And we say young and old, I beg you cross good. Remember the dark clothes at night, that is not good. From you I use up the sidewalk, it's all good.
When you're on the road, take your time. When you're on the road, bear this in mind. When you're on the road, you can save a life. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, I beg you please be safe. Wear your seatbelt to keep you safe, and make sure your helmet's in place. When you're on the road, when you're on the road, when you're on the road.
As we close the show for another day, we thank you for staying with us. Please like, share and visit our webpage and social media platforms. And tomorrow, do join us again on this station for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.